once again, we back. This is part 2 of chapter 22, Genesis. We did not finish all of Genesis chapter 22 in the last video. I kind of, went a little deeper into the dissection of some scriptures. I kind of elaborated further on to paint a picture of what was trying to be said and what was trying to be illustrated. Oh, excuse me. I am G, the seeker of truth. This is Spiritual Stake, and yes, your spirit is at stake. And like I said, this is part 2 of Genesis 22. And we're not gonna start it over. We just gonna pick up where we left off. And we were speaking about Abraham being willing to sacrifice to sacrifice Isaac. Excuse me. And the question was, would you be willing? And I was directing the question to parents in general, but more directly toward the fathers for their only son. Your namesake. Would you be willing? So, in verse 13, it was saying, actually in verse 12, it was speaking how Abraham was he took the knife and was about to slay Isaac, and the angel of the Lord spoke unto him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham, don't do nothing to the boy. Told him that they seen by his works that he had a true fear of God, that he feared the Lord, the Most High. And a ram was brought. And so we was springboarding that verse, and we was talking about, in the scripture we haven't made it to yet, but how when you are entered into temptation, how the Most High would provide provision for you to be able to escape that. And like I stated in part 1, this whole purpose of the sacrificing of Isaac, it was never to actually be carried out. It was only to see, was he willing? And the question still remains, would you be willing? Verse 14. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sea, as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Now let me ask you a question. Like, for those of us that will be willing to sacrifice our only begotten, not our only begotten, but our only son, and you get up there and you pick that blade up and you finna come down and take your offspring off, you hear me? And the angel of the Lord come to you and tell you, don't do it. He call you by your name, Daryl, Bobby, don't do it. Now, can you imagine walking back home with your son? Can you imagine this walk back home? The ride back home? I know you ain't even gonna look at that. I ain't gonna look at my son. I ain't gonna wanna look, you hear me? Every time I hear Dad, I'm gonna feel so bad. Man. I gotta get some water. Hold on. That's crazy. But on the other side of that, on the non-comedic side, and that Isaac could have had learned from his father that nothing is more sacred than your relationship with the Most High. And I believe there was a lesson that could have came out of that, that should have came out of that. And hopefully that's a lesson that you get out of that. All right, verse 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she has also borne child unto thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram. And she said, Shased, and Hazo, and Fildash, and Jidlap, and Bethulah. And Bethulah begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bare also Tebah, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Maacah. Maybe it's Maacah. Anyway, that's the end of verse 22. Now, like I said previous, and I'm always say it when I feel like they do it, I feel like they put all this unnecessary. Verse 21, hold on. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham. Right, verse 20 through 24 got nothing to do with nothing. This talking about Abraham's brother, and that's going to take you down this whole little tongue twisting thing trying to figure out these names. And once again, by the time you get to the end of the chapter, you just happy you made it through all them names. And you missed the whole message from the rest of the chapter. That a coincidence? The greatest messages end with a bunch of names and okay, maybe everybody ain't like me. Maybe everybody can look at them names and know how to say them properly off the rip. So you just congratulations. You don't get no awards for that. Dig this though. It still don't take away from the fact that it's unnecessary and take away from everything else in the scripture. And for the average person that don't know how to say these words properly the first time or the second time, or like me, like the 15th, 20th time. Anyway, by the time they get done reading it, they gonna be glad they got through it. So by the time they get to, matter of fact, by the time I got to Fildash, I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. Fildash went on nobody offering finna get burnt. Jidlap, God didn't talk to him now time and tell him to take his son up to no mountain. But it's so imperative that we throw all these tongue-tied names up in here. So like I said, by the time you get to the end of the chapter, you like, whoo. And they be like, what did you get from your reading? And you like, Abraham was finna sacrifice his son and God told him not to. And that's all they wanted you to get. But here's spiritual state. We finna eat the whole plate. We breaking down everything. But for real though, that would be a skewed relationship. Cause I know if I ain't gonna lie, my daddy put me up on the thing to sacrifice me, and it was just a test to him. We ain't never cool no more. we ain't never got nothing to talk about no more. I don't care about Father's Day. Boy, I don't care. I don't care. Because if it was up to you, my God, I wouldn't even be here. You hear me? You finna slice me up. We ain't never gonna be cool. I do appreciate the message though. And in all of the laughing and the giggling and tongue-tied names, it's imperative to get the message. What is the message, G? The message is there should be nothing physically in your life more important than your relationship with the Most High. If you feel like, and you gonna know it, you gonna feel it. When you feel that, they're like when you reading what you done heard and what you reading today, what you heard as a child, all the stories you heard as a child, they got implanted in your brain year after year, every Easter, every Christmas. When you get to hearing these same stories, they subconsciously planting them. And we grow up and we thinking that this is this. And then you get to that point to where you start reading it today in your mature mind, and it's not sitting right. And you go to your loved ones, the people that say they love you, the ones that you love the most, and you expressed it to them, and they don't understand it. They can't stand with it. They don't understand it. And they say they're not against it, but they can't stand with it. But if you're not with it, then you against it. You see what I'm saying? Even the words say that you got to be hot or you can't be cold. You hot or you cold because you lukewarm, you're going to spit you out his mouth. Okay, another one, you say you can't straddle the fence. You can't serve God, you can't serve Mammon. So why would you feel like you can? And don't get it misconstrued. The word never said God love a fence straddler. He said God love a backslider. But when you get to that point and you look at it and you like, I know what I feel. And then when you start to go around these loved ones and they still receiving you how they knew you and not how you is today, man, would you be willing? I'd rather have peace with myself and the Most High. Would you be willing? Today, are you willing to let go of what you love the most? If that's what it calls for. And understand this, whether you willing or you not, one day that's what it's going to call for. I'm G, the Secret of Truth, this spiritual state. Until next time, y'all stay elevated.